Welcome back. So today's video is going to be a book talk slash book review slash spoiler free section on Geekerella by Ashley Poston. So I just finished this book and let me tell you, it was so freaking good. Like, I loved it so much and I wasn't expecting it. Like, at first, when you first get into it, you're like, okay, this is just another retelling of a book with a twist. But it's like, I think it's so much more than that. But I'll get into that later. So this book follows two main characters. We have Danielle, who is Elle, or we have Darian Freeman. So Elle, of course, is our Cinderella. She lives with her stepmom and her two twin stepsisters. And of course, you know how the story goes. Her dad dies. She's forced to live with her stepmom and her stepsisters. Elle is super in love with this thing called Starfield. And what Starfield is, to me, I felt like it was kind of like Star Wars or Star Trek, like morphed into one, kind of. That's the vibes I was getting at, because it was like a TV show that they rebooted into a movie. So this movie that they're rebooting it into, the main guy is Darian Freeman, who is the second point of view that we get in this story. So Elle runs a blog, and one of the things that she was looking forward to was who they were going to cast as the main character in Starfield. Well, when she finds out that it's Darian Freeman, she gets a little upset because she wasn't really looking forward to that role being portrayed by Darian. This book pretty much follows her and her blog and how she decides that she wants to go to this thing called a Lexicon, which is this it's kind of like Comic-Con that they're hosting. And she can enter in this cosplay contest. She wants to use that as an excuse to get away and get to LA so she can expand on her blog and potentially become a screenwriter. So that's where kind of Elle's storyline goes. Darian's storyline is trying to just play the part and be the best leading actor that he can be in this role. That way he doesn't upset any more of the fans of the show, because he really wants to do it justice. Somehow these two characters talk. If you haven't read it, I don't want to give too much away. This is more of another Cinderella story retelling. It's the one with Selena Gomez on Disney Channel where they like dance, but instead of dancing, it's like Starfield and geeking out and cosplay contests, and it's awesome. I love this book so freaking much. But anyways, it's just cool to see. If you fangirl about anything, this book is just a great representation on what it's like to fangirl and just like have no one to fangirl with, but take to the internet and then have like all these people that like understand where you're coming from, people that have like cosplays and like fan art, and you're just like, yes. And this is just why I loved it so much. So now I'm gonna get into the spoilery section. So if you haven't read it, leave and then come back and then we'll talk about it. First, I just want to touch base, or just want to state the facts here. This cover is gorgeous. I love it. And the inside flaps, this is creativity at its finest, and somebody is doing their job right. Like, you are doing your job right. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. First, we're going to start out with the romance. I adored the romance in this novel. Like, it was so cute, and I was really scared because I thought that maybe it wouldn't wrap up that well, but it was like in a little box with a little bow on it. The whole situation where they switch phones and you know that they're talking to each other, but they don't. It's like you know a secret and you're like, I know something you don't know. As you get closer to the end, you're just like waiting, and you're like, okay, well, when are they gonna say something to each other, or when like there were so many opportunities where Elle could have said something or he could have said something, but they didn't. They had this like arguments just with each other, or this like hate that they didn't really have, which was or this hate that they had between each other, because at the end where Elle kind of yells at him for like being stupid because he won't sign, like it was just great. At the end when they find out who is who, oh my gosh, it was great. And then at the party where Chloe was like, or maybe, yeah, it was Chloe, and she was like, you need it, or she could call her Elle, and he was like, Elle, no, that can't be my Elle, and I was like, yes, bitch, it's your Elle, like, do something, and he was like, And then he stuck up for her, and I was like, yes, finally, this is cute, I love it, let's do it some more. And I love how, of course, we get that Cinderella moment where he like chases after her because she has to leave, and she loses her shoe. And then at the end, when he puts the shoe on her foot, like, it was so cute. I was like, yes, this is how I want it to be. And I hated Chloe. I loved Cal. Like, Calliope, she was so cute, and I was so glad when her and Sage got together. I was like, yes, like, OTP all the way, let's go. It was cute. And I'm glad where Cal's character arc went. I hated Chloe and the step monster, the step bitch. Like, I hated it. I was just like, anytime the step monster made her say something or made her do a chore, I would just internally like scream, because I swear to God, if I had somebody that was like, you go clean the attic, like, that's your stuff, I would have been like, bitch, that's your shit? Like, you go clean that up, I'm gonna go paint my nails, I'm gonna go read a good book, I'm gonna go watch Starfield, like, my bitch. The last point that I want to talk about from this book was definitely how deeply it felt for me. When we started getting closer to the end, I was just reading and reading and reading. And I was reading because I was like, when are they going to tell each other? Like, when are they going to know? Like, hey, y'all are the two people that were texting. Like, it was just making me so mad. And then I read something and it clicked. I was like, this isn't just about the romance. This is about geeking out over something and having nobody else know what's the point, but you do deep inside. For, you know, for Elle, she had, you know, she grew up with this, and then she had it all thrown away when her parents died. For me, it was kind of the same thing. It's kind of hard being, like, by myself, having all these books on my wall, reading all the time, and having, like, having a blog, but having no one to, like, really talk to about it. It started making sense. I was like, where it's hard for people that are kind of close to you that don't get it to get it when you get it thoroughly. Like, for example, when she is obsessed with Starfield, and Starfield's kind of like this crutch for her, and it's kind of this memory that she holds on to. Whereas for reading, for some of us, like, that's our life. Like, this is something like we devote our lives to, and, you know, some people want to use it as a job, some people want to be authors, some people want to work in publishing, some people want to do graphic design for the covers, like, whatever it is, it just, I could connect to Elle on the same level where, like, I know what it's like to love something so much but not have anyone to share it with. And so that's what it was so great when Elle started, like, leaning on Sage, and her and Sage started bonding over Starfield, because she got Sage to watch Starfield, and they started, like, bonding over it, and Sage started understanding, like, I get the whole hype behind this. And it's just like when you find somebody in this community who, like, oh my gosh, I understand why you like that book so much. Oh my gosh, here's a book that I'll give to you. You can read it. It's just this cool thing. And I don't know. It was just something that, like, emotionally got to me when I started nearing the end of the book. I was like, oh my god, this makes sense. Anyways, that was so rambly and such a mess, but I love this book so much. 5 out of 5 stars for sure. If you haven't read it, like I said, go and pick it up. That is the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, even though I kind of went on a splangent there, at the little splangent at the end there, I made up a new word, you're welcome. Give it a thumbs up anyways. Be sure you guys to subscribe. And if you read this book, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Also, go follow me on social media. Okay, cool. Alright, so I will see you guys all in my next video. And also remember, look to the stars, aim, and ignite.